Jacob Neusner is an American academic scholar of Judaism. He is often celebrated as one of the most published authors in history, having written or edited more than 950 books. Biography. Born in Hartford, Connecticut, Neusner was educated at Harvard University, the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, the University of Oxford, and Yale University. Since 1994, he has taught at Bard College. He has also taught at Columbia University, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Brandeis University, Dartmouth College, Brown University, and the University of South Florida. He lives in Rhinebeck, New York. Neusner is a former member of the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, and is a life member of Clare Hall, Cambridge University. He is the only scholar to have served on both the National Endowment for the Humanities and the National Endowment for the Arts. He also has received scores of academic awards, honorific and otherwise. Neusner is a signer of the conservative Cornwall Declaration on Environmental Stewardship, which expresses concern over the unfounded or undue concerns of environmentalists such as fears of destructive man-made global warming, overpopulation, and rampant species loss. Scholarship. Generally, Neusner's research centers on Rabbinic Judaism of the Mishnaic and Talmudic eras. He was a pioneer in the application of form criticism approach to rabbinic texts. Much of Neusner's work has been to deconstruct the prevailing approach, viewing Rabbinic Judaism as a single religious movement within which the various rabbinic texts were produced. In contrast, Neusner views each rabbinic document as an individual piece of evidence that can only shed light on the more local Judaisms of such specific documents' place of origin and the specific Judaism of the author. His Judaism, the evidence of the Mishnah, is a classic statement of his work and the first of many comparable volumes on the other documents of the rabbinic canon. Neusner's method of studying documents individually without contextualizing them with other rabbinic documents of the same era or genre led to a series of studies on the way Judaism creates categories of understanding and how those categories relate to one another, even as they emerge diversely in discrete rabbinic documents. Neusner has translated into English nearly the entire rabbinic canon. This work has opened up many rabbinic documents to scholars of other fields unfamiliar with Hebrew and Aramaic, within the academic study of religion, as well as in ancient history, culture and Near and Middle Eastern studies. His translation technique utilizes a Harvard outline format which attempts to make the argument flow of rabbinic texts easier to understand for those unfamiliar with Talmudic reasoning. Neusner's enterprise has been aimed at a humanistic and academic reading of classics of Judaism. Neusner has been drawn from studying text to context, treating a religion in its social setting as something a group of people do together, rather than as a set of beliefs and opinions. Theological works. In addition to his historical and textual works, Neusner has also contributed to the area of theology. He is the author of Israel, Judaism and its Social Metaphors and the Incarnation of God, the Character of Divinity in Formative Judaism. Contributions to academia. In addition to his scholarly activities, Neusner has been involved in shaping Jewish studies and religious studies in the American university. He has sponsored a number of conferences and collaborative projects that drew different religions into conversation on common themes and problems. Neusner's efforts have produced conferences and books on, among other topics, the problem of difference in religion, religion and society, religion and material culture, religion and economics, religion and altruism, and religion and tolerance. Neusner has written a number of works books exploring the relationship of Judaism to other religions. His A Rabbi Talks with Jesus attempts to establish a religiously sound framework for Judaic-Christian interchange. It has earned the praise of Pope Benedict XVI and a nickname, the Pope's favorite rabbi. In his book Jesus of Nazareth, Benedict refers to it as by far the most important book for the Jewish-Christian dialogue in the last decade. He also has collaborated with other scholars to produce comparisons of Judaism and Christianity, as in the Bible and Us. A priest and a rabbi read scripture together. He has collaborated with scholars of Islam, Conceiving World Religions in America, an introduction which explores how diverse religions have developed in the distinctive American context. He has composed numerous textbooks and general trade books on Judaism. The two best-known examples are The Way of Torah, An Introduction to Judaism, and Judaism, An Introduction. Throughout his career, Neusner has established publication programs and series with various academic publishers. Through these series, through reference works that he conceived and edited, and through the conferences he has sponsored, Neusner has advanced the careers of dozens of younger scholars from across the globe. Critical assessment of Neusner's work. Although he is highly influential, Neusner has been criticized by scholars in his field of study. Some are critical of his methodology, and assert that many of his arguments are circular or attempt to prove negative assumptions from a lack of evidence, while others concentrate on Neusner's reading and interpretations of rabbinic texts, finding that his account is forced and inaccurate. Neusner's view that the Second Commonwealth Pharisees were a sectarian group centered on table fellowship and ritual food purity practices, and less interested in wider Jewish values or social issues, has been contested by E. P. Sanders, Zeitlin and Chaim Maccoby. Some scholars have questioned Neusner's grasp of Rabbinic Hebrew and Aramaic. Probably the most famous and biting criticism came from Saul Lieberman about Neusner's translation of the Jerusalem Talmud. Lieberman wrote, "One begins to doubt the credibility of the translator, and indeed after a superficial perusal of the translation, the reader is stunned by ignorance of Rabbinic Hebrew, of Aramaic grammar, and above all of the subject matter with which he deals." He ended his review, "I conclude with a clear conscience. The right place for English translation is the wastebasket." Books by Jacob Neusner. A complete list of Neusner's books may be found here. List of books by Jacob Neusner. Additional biographical source: Jacob Neusner. From History to Religion. pp. 98-116 in The Craft of Religious Studies, edited by John R. Stone, New York, St. Martin's Press, 1998. Books, articles about Jacob Neusner. Majed, Shaul. Is it time to take the most published man in human history seriously? Tablet Online Magazine, August 23, 2016.